had a breakdown this morning. Let's take it back. Let me tell you about my week. A few days ago, I'm too exhausted, even right now, to even speak. A few days ago, I have boiled eggs every morning for breakfast, so I made them. I made 3, and then at the time when I was peeling them, I was like, I won't have time to eat 3 because I have to run out the door. So then I was like, one of them is already boiled, so I'll just put it in the fridge and I'll have it tomorrow. And then the next day, I only made 1 egg. But after I put it in the water, it was already like broken, which I really dislike when that happens because the pot is dirty and then like half of the egg is already out, so it's like you're barely eating anything. But I was like, it's fine, I have 1 from yesterday. So I was like, how should I heat it up? And I was like, I'll just microwave it. But then I forgot to like cut it in half. So I put it in the microwave and I was gonna take it out in like 10 seconds. And I'm just standing right there, and suddenly my cat starts screaming, yelling behind me, and I thought something was wrong. So I turn around and the egg explodes in the microwave. It explodes. Like there was a bang. And I open the microwave and there's just egg everywhere. There's some egg on the floor now and on the stove because when I opened it, some went everywhere. And I was in this place in my life where I hadn't done any of the dishes. I had not cleaned or vacuumed or anything. And this is now on top of that where I have to clean it. And not only that, it's eggs, so I have to clean it right away or the smell will stay. And I didn't have the time for that, but I had to do it. And now I only have 1 egg to eat, and that egg already exploded in the pot. So that's like quarter of an egg or something. And then I cleaned the egg. But just so you know, a year ago if that happened to me, it would have destroyed me. I would have been like catatonic. Because I just would have been like overwhelmed. I would have been like, this is so much to clean. I have to clean it extremely correctly so that there's like 0 egg left. I already did that. But even in the moment when I opened the microwave, I just was like chill. I was like, whatever, it's fine. It's just one of those things. And it didn't even take long to clean it. You know what I mean? I did it in batches and I kind of washed the plate and everything in the sink or whatever. And I was like, wow, am I a new person who is not bothered by these things? And then like a day later, there was like one of these bugs in my house that I don't like. That's fine too. I know that they're gonna come. They're just, around, whatever. That's fine. It's like about to be summer. And my cats were kind of like chasing it, whatever. So I knew where it was the whole time. This was like at night. And I was so chill about that too. I was like, wow, I'm so chill about everything. Like I would have been so anxious. A year ago, I like called my friend who was like, should I call my dad? And I was like, no, I'll call my dad. Because we couldn't do anything. And then like, my dad came from like 45 minutes away to my home with like gloves and like a spray to kill it. But now I don't kill them, so I didn't need to call anyone. Sometimes I call like Keishan or my dad for like support, just to be like, there's a bug here, and I might cry on the call, and they're like, okay, no problem. But I didn't even need to do that. I was so zen. I can't even tell. Even mentally, I didn't have to be like, it's gonna be okay. I didn't even have to do that because I was so zen. I was like, you know what? It's fine. And I like went to sleep and had the greatest sleep, okay? It was just I haven't been sleeping very well, and this was last night. I slept so well. So well that it was like delicious. I have not had that kind of sleep in so long. And I woke up and my alarm's like set for 6:45 to do some like work thing and then go back to sleep. But I woke up at 6. Why did I wake up at 6? I woke up at 6 because before going to sleep, the bug was there in the living room somewhere. My cats are chasing it. And I was like, I need to ensure this bug doesn't come to my bedroom. But I can't close the door and like seal the gaps because my cats come to my bed at night. So then I put like peppermint oil across my door frame because I heard that bugs don't like that. But then I woke up in the morning at 6 and I had this thought like, what if my cat like licked it and she's sick or something? And none of my cats were in the bedroom. Normally they're like on top of me at night. So at 6 I woke up and I got out of bed even though I was having the best sleep just to go check on my cats and they were both fine. And I was like, okay, great, let me go back to sleep. I'm having the best time ever. And then my cat starts crying and crying because she's like, give me food. And I was like, oh, no. So I was like, shh, I'm trying to sleep. And suddenly I hear a loud crash, like so loud, like a metal on ground. I'm like, no. So I had to get up again and I went outside and she had like toppled the food bowl over the edge of the table. The reason that the food bowl is on top of a table and not on the ground where it would normally be is because I have ants. And they get into the food bowl, the dry food bowl. And I know I can get like ant traps, but I don't want to kill anything. So I was like, fine, I'll put it on top of the table. And she toppled it because she's wearing a cone because her wound is still not healed. So it's not like I'm blaming her for it because the cone pushes things, it's like so much bigger than her head. And I had just filled up the food bowl. So there's just food everywhere on the ground. And I already have ants. So I have to be so meticulous about cleaning that so it doesn't get worse. If I leave one piece of dry food, if I leave any sort of crumb on the floor, you can see ants in a line like carrying it. I mean, it's really cute to see them carrying stuff, but I have to like eliminate that so it's not like the colony grows or whatever, right? So at 6 a.m. and I was having the best sleep of my life after literally months. I have not been sleeping. I'm sitting there and I'm putting the food back into the bowl and I see the dead body of the bug, which like great that they killed it. I guess not great. I feel sad, you know what I mean? I don't want anything to die. But then I see the dead body of the bug and it reminds me that there's a bug and then I have to clean up the dead body. And now I'm cleaning up the dry food. I'm gonna have to throw that away, which by the way, I'm running out of their dry food and it's like the new shipment's not gonna come for a little while and like sometimes they only eat the dry food and they refuse to eat the wet. And I'm kind of like, what am I gonna do? I usually get like this really huge heavy bag that like lasts for months and months and it's delivered from I don't have to like go to the store to carry it because I couldn't carry it anyway. There's no smaller version of it. And I'm like literally hyperventilating thinking about all of this. Each thought that I'm telling you now has 500 sub-thoughts attached to it, and all of these things are just like in a line, okay? And then after cleaning the dry food, which I have to throw out because it was on the ground and now they're running out of the dry food, so that was a whole bowl that is just gone, it's wasted. I don't even care about the waste, is that I don't have a new bag for them. I don't want them to be running out of the one food that they sometimes refuse to eat anything else. And I'm thinking all of this, and I'm like, should I look on Amazon right now? And it's 6 a.m. And then I have to get on my knees and literally wipe the floor for any like super minute crumbs, because the dry food obviously broke and there's like powdery food dust. So I'm wiping that, and then I'm like, I'll just leave the dead body of the bug for later in the morning. And I'm so overstimulated, and work has been so busy. Sometimes I work until like 1 or 2 a.m. and it never ends. And when something doesn't end in my brain, it stays as pending, and so I can't like go to sleep. I can't shut that off until it's done. So after all of that, I get back into bed and my cat starts crying and crying again, and she's like, she pulls the towel down from the bathroom and she's crying. I feel sick, okay? And I'm so upset. I everything I listed here is like normal life shit. I don't know. But it was in a row, I guess. And like, here's the thing is like, all of those first few times where I was like, I'm so regulated, I guess. I'm a new person. Like, nothing can touch me. Like, was I like numbing it? Was I numbing myself? I don't know. What's like, how are you supposed to tell? I don't know. Maybe I was regulated during those times, but maybe it was like over and over. And then after the food bowl crashed to the ground, I was like, I'm being punished. And you know what's crazy is sitting here right now, I'm thinking, is like, religious guilt is like so crazy. It's like so pervasive. It's just part of like my cell structure or something. Why would I even think that I'm being punished? But I was like, God is punishing me. I'm not even, I do you understand what I mean? It's like, I didn't do anything wrong, but so why would God be punishing me? But I was like, all of these things are happening, and they're like laughing at me. God is like showing me that I'm doing something wrong. This is not like a conscious thought, really, but the emotion from that thought fucked me up. And then I was like, I was so overstimulated. I was so angry. And then the thought came where, well, I was so overstimulated and I was so angry that like I was behaving in a really concerning way, okay? And that's me trying to be diplomatically telling you that I was having a genuine real breakdown. Which is, it's fine, whatever, I can handle it, because I know I know what to do. I know me. I just cry really hard, and then, whatever. Anyway, it was going crazy, and I was so angry. I was like shaking. I was angry at myself. And it just kept getting worse. Like, there was no thought that was like, everything's fine. Because everything technically was fine, because I had like I dealt with the consequences. I already cleaned it. Everything is technically fine. But the thought came where I was like, I left my body and I looked at myself and how I was behaving, where I'm like shaking and like crying really hard. And like, I was like, whoa, like, no one can love you. You're ridiculous. The way you're behaving is like so nonsensical. Not only that, your anger is like so scary. If I imagine a world where I'm like living alone, it's not scary to me, because I know I can like deal with it, and it doesn't last long. And my anger isn't like born of the thing itself. It's that I'm overstimulated and all these other things, whatever. And I was like, you, not only can no one love you if they see you like this, it's like if you think of being in a serious relationship where you're living with someone, or someone's like living with you and like sees you like this, which they inevitably will if they're permanently living with me, they're gonna be like shocked and disgusted. So like it's that dream of like having any sort of serious relationship, or like living with someone, god, like marriage or something, it's like it's not possible for you. All of these thoughts made everything 1,000 times worse, obviously. It almost feels like all of the times that I'm like regulated genuinely and calm, it feels like, okay, were those times just performances? Like, so I took like half a pill of reaction so I could go to sleep. Um, so I could just like be knocked out. Otherwise, I would keep getting worse and worse emotionally. And then I woke up super late. And I just also like last few days I've been feeling so depressed, like so depressed. Like apart from all of these things happening, I'm like I don't want to do anything. I don't want to eat anything. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to sleep. I don't want to wake up. I don't want to shower. I don't want to do anything. I like look at the clothes in my closet and I'm like I don't want to wear anything. I don't want to go out. I don't want to see anyone. I don't want to. It took so much effort to like vacuum yesterday and like gather up the garbage and recycling and all of that. And my mom and dad came to visit, and I almost canceled because I was like, I can't imagine like seeing someone and like laughing and chatting. We had a great time. We had a really great time because I didn't cancel, and I'm glad I didn't. But yeah, I'm just like so depressed. So anyway, I woke up today and I was like another day. And I guess I felt a little bit better probably because of the react that I took. But then I also ordered matcha and that made me feel better. And then I was thinking, I took a shower, that made me feel better. Talked to a friend, that made me feel better. I changed my wallpaper on my phone to a prettier one, which I like more. Makes me happy every time I see it. And then I was thinking about saying all of this to gain some sort of clarity, because every time I talk about it, I do gain clarity. And I was like thinking about how I thought that I can't, no one can live with me, no one can love me. And I was like, yep, that's true. And then I was like, you know what? Fuck that. Like really fuck that. That's what they want. These powers that are creating a society of separation. Like, if I'm gonna gain true connection, I need to be so audacious. That in a way where I want everyone else to be as well. If someone I loved was like behaving like me, first of all, I would be like, wow, I relate. Second of all, I would be like, I love you anyway. It's not even something that needs to be fixed. There's been so many times in my life, so many, countless times, where even mental health professional people have, when I've said something or behaved in a certain way, they've like looked at me with the most like shock and horror. And like, it's been so traumatizing that even now, if I think about those things, I'm like, oh my god, that's so crazy. I have to like not behave like that so I don't scare people. And it's so disappointing that they did that to me when I was very young. But I don't think that what I behave like is so shocking. Maybe it is the first time, but it's not like inherently scary. It's not like I have ever hurt anyone else. It's not like I have been like, I don't know, aggressive with other people, and I don't have even the desire to be. I'm not scary in that way. It's just probably like seeing me outside of in a different format than they've known me or something. I don't know, but I have no excuse for these like mental health professionals that's their job to like help people through tough things. I don't know. They looked at me as if what I'm saying and the way I'm behaving and what I'm talking about, they've never heard in their entire lives. They were like, I don't know what the fuck you're saying. Don't stop. One time I was literally hospitalized, and like a guy came in like a I don't know what he was. I don't think he was a doctor. He might have been like a fucking volunteer with zero qualifications. He walked in, he was like, I just wanted to check in. How are you doing? And I was like, I told him what I was going through. I was having a hard time because I was like, I can't go to sleep. And he was like, why? And I told him. And he just looks at me and he was like, and he said nothing, and he walked out, and no one else came in to check on me. And I was literally still in high school. So, all of those things combined, I'm like, there's no fucking way. If people can't even professionally handle me, can you imagine a person who loves me, who's not qualified, who's not a professional in this, who loves me romantically, taking that? I was like, no, I can never do that to anyone else. Thank God that I didn't know that man. I can never do that to someone that I know and who's known me and who's my friend and who's my family. Could never. And I never did show that side of me very much. But now I'm like, fucking fuck it. I wish everyone showed truly everything, because then I think we would relate to more people. And also, let's say that in the future I am living with someone and they see that and they literally behave like that man. That's also allowed, but I think like in that scenario, let's say he was shocked and he left and we weren't together because of that. In that scenario, at least I'm living my life openly instead of in fear. Why the fuck should I behave out of fear? Should I push away my desires because of a fear that people are going to reject me? If they're going to reject me, they'll do it anyway. I'm pre-rejecting myself to avoid the pain of it, but actually I'm feeling the pain. And why? Actually, I'm feeling the pain anyway. What's the fucking difference? It's just such a devastating thought. It's just, I feel like crying right now because I'm like so sad at how disappointed I was at like every juncture of my teenage life, when I was a child, before that, and then like during my teens. It's just so sad. And then on top of that, it's like the only real, faith I have is in like God, because the concept of God or like a loving universe cannot disappoint you. And then yesterday, I was like, God's angry at you because of this fucking leftover religious guilt from my childhood. And that destroyed me because I was like, now I really have nothing. Because in that moment when I'm having a crash out, I also don't have me. I wish there was like something. I know that I cannot rely on something external. It's like people don't really validate me. But, and then if I do look for it, so many times people are like, you shouldn't look for external validation. But in that moment, I cannot have internal validation. And then so I turned to God, and in the moment yesterday, I didn't even have that. And so I had to medically knock myself out. I shouldn't have said that. But my point is that I have to act in defiance. I don't know why I had those experiences. Also, yesterday, clearly every thought I had, first of all, I know it was like not the truth. Second of all, it's me analyzing. It's me going like, look at all these things that happen in a row, and this means that God hates you. But nothing fucking means anything. That's the second thing I have to do. Especially because I was regulated during every individual moment. So if I didn't carry it forward, I would have been fine. But the point is that I have to act in defiance of these really valid fears. They're valid because I did go through those things. There is no objective truth. It's not an objective truth that no one can love me. It's not an objective it's not an objective truth that I can't live with anyone. Like maybe it will become true. Maybe I'll try and they'll all leave or whatever. But what I mean is, at least then I won't be living in fear. At least my actions and behaviors won't be, originating from a place of fear because I'm carrying the past forward or something. It's tough not to do that when the memories are really intense and awful, obviously. But like, inherently, any breakdown that you're having mentally, emotionally, it's not like it's like alien. It's like part of the human experience, and it just feels really crazy and intense because I think I'm an intense person, but also because even less intense breakdowns are not really shown. People don't show it. And when they are even talked about, when I even talked about it back then, it was met with so much like shock and disgust, and like people were like, stop talking, and people left, and people were like, don't talk about it. Don't talk to me about it for sure. And like everyone just kind of goes like, you need help. But then you go for help, and the people who are giving you help also do that, and then you feel crazy. Obviously, sitting here now as an adult, I'm like, even the people who are supposed to give you help are not like, they're still just regular people. There's nothing like special about them. And so if these professionals are letting me down, it doesn't mean anything special. It doesn't mean like I'm truly crazy. It's just the same as if like a regular person walking on the sidewalk behaved like that. You know what I mean? I used to think that the qualifications meant something. They don't. When people say go for help, it's just also like just random. It's just random. You could get good help, you could not get good help. It doesn't mean anything about you. But my point is that breakdowns are not only are they never seen while they're happening, it's like even if you talk about it very clinically, very professionally, even in a jokey way, whatever the fuck, people are not down to hear about it or talk about it. And so even if everyone that I know is going through the same thing that I am, we would never know because yeah. And then so we'd all feel alone. So what's the point? Anyway, today during breakfast I like watched a video of 4 female comedians together, and it just made me feel so much better. It's just 4 girls who are being funny. Just, there's no better healing in the world. They should have shown me that when I was hospitalized. I would have been cured. But what do they fucking know, bro? The point is that everything in me is like, you know what, you're being so brave by like handling everything alone, which I am. But actually, I'm being braver in the moments when I say that I want love and I receive it. I'm gonna I'm gonna partake in love in defiance of my fear. Because I'm so angry. I'm so angry that these stupid fucking childhood experiences could possibly affect like my future happiness like that, even my present regulation. It's just like I don't we it's just like I definitely see myself, my behavior, my actions, my life through the eyes of what like the eyes of like an outside world, like a outside society, and I don't see it through my own lived experience. And if I see it through the eyes of an outside society, they don't know the experiences that I've been through, and each singular experience amalgamated has led to the intensity of my emotions, or like how deeply I feel dysregulated and how quickly my anger rises, and like how deeply my shame is felt. And we don't leave like room for ourselves, as in like if someone else lived through my life experiences, they would also be behaving like this. But what I'm thinking is I don't see anyone behaving like this, so I'm like being crazy. But even if like no one on planet Earth behaves like this, I'm still allowed to behave like this. That's my point. It's like no one ever says that. There's nothing in any sort of reality externally that I've ever seen with my eyes, heard with my ears, where people are like, you're allowed. And I know, I understand that I have to give it to myself, but if you understood, well, I just mean like, if like anyone went through what you went through, they might also behave like that. But even if they didn't, you're allowed to have the reaction you're having. Like, you don't have to be perfectly curated, because I think every individual is an individual anyway. It's just any time that I've ever acted outside of like some sort of character, people have really, there's been such a harsh retaliation towards me, where people have been really, really upset with me to a crazy degree. Where, and then I've just been sitting thinking, you haven't even seen 1% of crazy, and you're like reacting like this. And so if anyone saw 100% of the crazy, they'd hate me. It'd be so angry. And I see 100% of my crazy, and I don't hate me. I really like me. I think it just makes me really sad that the possibility that like I, I can't have love. But again, fuck that. How about fuck that? Even if I can't have love, even if that's what's written for me, even if this is like the Truman Show and the plot line is to show me that I'm unworthy of love, fuck that, because until my dying breath, I will love and feel loved anyway. I'm certainly not gonna let these experiences and like my feelings stop me from like trying to live a really free and open and honest and loving life. I think people are just shocked because they need like a second, because most of the time I'm not like that. And it's maybe it's like my Gemini rising, where it's like a totally different persona or something, because they don't live in my mind. For me it's less of an intense shift, but for them it's probably like night and day. Maybe they're like, was all of it a performance? No, maybe I'm like thinking that they're thinking that. But it's not that crazy. Anyway, moral of the story is fuck that. I'll see what happens today in the next few days. Peace. Peace out, suckers.